Welcome to the Autocorrect Apocalypse. Let's kick things off with the story of how Autocorrect nearly made me unemployed. Picture this. It's a chilly Monday morning and I'm feeling under the weather. Not wanting to spread my germs at work, I decide to be a responsible adult and call in sick. I grab my phone, start typing a simple, innocent message to my boss. I'm sick, won't make it to work, but, oh no. Autocorrect, the ever-helpful assistant, decides to interpret my message with a Freudian twist. Suddenly my "I'm sick" transforms into "I'm sick of work." Now, instead of a sympathy-inducing sick note, I've sent a bold declaration of my job dissatisfaction to my boss. Autocorrect, in its infinite wisdom, has turned my innocent sick day into an unscheduled career crisis meeting. Panic sets in. I'm scrambling, fumbling, trying to type an apology, a retraction, a plea for understanding, but Autocorrect is on a roll. It changes my "I'm sorry" to "I'm sassy." Now, not only do I apparently despise my job, but I'm also flaunting my attitude problem. I can almost see my boss, eyebrows raised, staring at the phone, wondering when I became such a disgruntled, sassy employee. And just when I think it can't get any worse, Autocorrect decides to chime in with its final blow. My desperate "it was a mistake" magically transforms into "it was a masterpiece." So now not only am I sick of work and unapologetically sassy, but I'm also oddly proud of my rebellious text masterpiece. At this point, I'm not sure whether to laugh, cry, or start updating my resume. I mean, who needs a job when you've got Autocorrect, right? So remember folks, always double-check your texts, or you might be sending your boss unintended career goals. And trust me, "I'm sick of work" isn't the kind of goal you want to be sharing on a Monday morning. You'd think Autocorrect would understand the basics, like grocery shopping, but no, it has other plans. There I was, running late for a meeting, and I had to text my roommate to pick up some essentials. A simple ask, right? Eggs, milk, and bread. Just your run-of-the-mill breakfast items. Well, my ever-so-helpful Autocorrect decided to give my list a twist. Instead of eggs, milk, and bread, my roommate got a text asking for eels, milkshakes, and dread. Now, I'm not entirely sure where one even procures dread, but I'm fairly certain it's not at the local supermarket. My roommate, poor, confused fellow, immediately calls me. I can hear the confusion in his voice as he asks, "Huh? So you want me to pick up eels, milkshakes, and dread? Are we having a sea monster-themed breakfast or something?" I can't help but laugh. I mean, who wouldn't? Instead of a simple grocery list, I've accidentally set the scene for a Lovecraftian brunch. I've got to say, I'm a little curious about what that would look like, but I don't think I'm ready to add marine life enthusiast to my resume just yet. So I assure my roommate that no, I'm not planning on turning our breakfast table into an aquarium. I just wanted eggs, milk, and bread. They laugh, I laugh, and we agree that Autocorrect has a wicked sense of humor. But it got me thinking, what if Autocorrect is trying to tell us something? Maybe it's trying to shake us out of our monotony, make our everyday tasks a little more exciting, a little more wild, or maybe, just maybe, it's a robot rebellion, a small step in their grand plan to confuse and conquer us. So the next time you're texting your grocery list, beware, you might just end up hosting a sea monster-themed breakfast. Dating is hard enough without Autocorrect turning you into a medical emergency. You're trying to navigate the delicate dance of flirtation, and Autocorrect decides to two-step all over your game. Picture this. You're chatting with someone you've been eyeing for a while, you've got the butterflies, the sweaty palms, the whole 9 yards. You finally muster up the courage to let them know how you feel. You type out, "I have a crush on you." You hit send, feeling like you've just jumped off a cliff. Then you see it. Autocorrect, in its infinite wisdom, has changed crush to rash. Your heart drops. Your face turns the color of a ripe tomato. You've just told your potential romantic partner that you have a rash on them. Suddenly, you're not a smitten kitten. You're a walking medical emergency. You try to backtrack. No, I meant crush," you type furiously, but the damage is done. Autocorrect has sabotaged your love life and turned you into a patient zero of an epidemic that doesn't exist. And let's not forget about the time you tried to tell someone they were hot, but Autocorrect decided they were hat. Suddenly you're not complimenting their looks, you're comparing them to headwear. Or when you wanted to say, "I miss you," but Autocorrect thought "I moss you" was a better fit. Now you're not expressing your longing, you're a botanist expressing your fondness for a type of plant. In the world of dating, Autocorrect is like that friend who gives you bad advice, embarrasses you in public, and spills your drink all over your crush. It's the third wheel you didn't ask for, the matchmaker from hell. So, if you're trying to woo someone, make sure autocorrect isn't your wingman, or you might end up declaring your love for marine life, confessing to a non-existent rash, or professing your undying affection for headwear. Let's face it, the path to love is littered with autocorrect's good intentions gone hilariously wrong. Ever noticed how autocorrect can suddenly take a dark turn? Welcome to the twilight zone of texting, where autocorrect becomes a rogue AI, twisting our innocent messages into something straight out of a horror flick. I mean, who needs a Halloween costume when you've got autocorrect turning your texts into mini nightmares, right? Picture this. You're texting your sweetheart, basking in the glow of your phone screen, ready to send some digital affection their way. You type out kisses and hit send, feeling all warm and fuzzy inside. But wait, autocorrect, that mischievous imp, has other plans. Suddenly your kisses become knives. That's right, knives. Instead of a sweet goodnight text, you've just sent a chilling message that would make Alfred Hitchcock proud. You're not sharing love anymore, you're sharing a cutlery collection. And the best part? You don't even realize it until your beloved responds with a confused emoji and a what? You scramble to clarify, typing furiously, "I meant kisses, not knives." But autocorrect, not done with its mischief, decides to switch meant to meat. Now you're serving steak with your knife collection. You can almost hear autocorrect cackling in the background like a villain in a cheesy horror movie. And you're left staring at your phone wondering if you should laugh, cry, or start writing a screenplay for when autocorrect attacks. And let's not forget the time autocorrect turned "can't wait for our date" into "can't wait for our death." Talk about setting the mood for a romantic evening. But hey, at least it keeps things interesting, right? Who needs predictable conversations when autocorrect can turn every text into a surprise plot twist? Just a reminder, autocorrect might turn your sweet nothings into a horror movie script. So the next time you're texting, keep an eye on autocorrect, or you might just end up sending "I love you to death" instead of "I love you to the moon and back." Now wouldn't that be a scream? And here's how autocorrect made me fall in love with my plumber. Picture this. Late one night, my sink springs a leak. It's a disaster, right? So I shoot off a quick text to my plumber, "Hey, got a leak here." But autocorrect, in its infinite wisdom, decides to spice things up. The message that gets sent, "Hey, got love here." Yes, folks, autocorrect just confessed my undying affection to the man who unclogs my drains and toilets. Now every time he comes over to fix a leak, it's like we're in weird Brokeback Mountain strange vibe thing. He's there with his wrench, I'm there with my awkwardness, and we're both wondering if autocorrect is going to chime in with another unwanted love confession, like, "Need you to fix my heart, not my sink," or "Your love is like a pipe always flowing." Oh my. So watch out, folks, or autocorrect might just find you some weirdness at the most inappropriate times and with people you would never think about switching teams for. So, is autocorrect a helpful tool or a texting time bomb? Well, folks, autocorrect is like that unpredictable friend who's always full of surprises. It's a roller coaster of emotions, really. One moment, you're an aspiring poet, painting pictures with words you never intended. The next, you're a comedian, delivering punchlines that leave your friends in stitches, or in utter confusion. You might be a rebel, standing up to your boss with bold statements you never meant to make, or perhaps a hopeless romantic, confessing your undying love to your plumber, or even your toaster. Heck, you could be a marine life enthusiast, planning a breakfast of eels and existential dread. Let's not forget our feathered friends. Thanks to autocorrect, we've all become avid duck enthusiasts. Who knew? In the end, autocorrect is an unpredictable friend, a wild card, a jester in the court of communication. So next time you send a text, take a moment to proofread, or you might just declare war on grammar, or confess your feelings to your boss. And that's a wrap on our tour through the autocorrect safari, where the wild typos roam and the texts run free. Don't let the laughter stop here. We want to hear about your own text tragedies. Slide those autocorrect bloopers right into the comments below like you're sliding into DMs. But funnier. Thanks for sticking with us here at the Quirky Chronicle channel. Just remember, life's too short to take seriously, especially when your phone thinks it's a comedian. So keep finding your funny one ducking autocorrect at a time.